you're ready. Because I am ready. Go over. Where's my mouse? We'll go over here, because this is where we're supposed to. So should I? Oh. I might die.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not playing with them. I don't like fighting.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Oh, that's as escaped.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Just do another stream.
Yeah.
We'll probably call it a day after this.
Yeah.
And continue tomorrow at some point.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting. Right now I've got 2 videos uploading to YouTube, so please do check my YouTube out when you get a chance.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna go straight towards.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Trying to get up these stairs.
Greetings. What do you need?
My lord, I managed to find a clue to the whereabouts of the bandits.
Excellent. Bernard already told me what's been happening, but I'd like to hear it straight from the horse's mouth.
The whole story, or just the gist of it, sir?
It's up to you what you consider important.
What shadows are you chasing this time?
Well, in the end, I tracked down the stable boy who fled in fear of his life, and for good reason, too. He put me on the trail of a crofter from Ujit with a limp.
And his name?
But the boy didn't know him by name, only by sight. But if I ask around, I'm sure folk will know who limps and keeps peculiar company. Villagers like to gossip.
But what if he's not there? He could have fled, maybe even to Kuttenberg.
If I don't find him in Ujit, I'll ask around. Someone will know something about him.
All right. Better go to Urzhitz then. Find this limping footpad and get the names of the others out of him. They have to face justice for what they did. I want to see them hang. Then bring him to me in Merhoyed and I'll decide on his fate.
Certainly, sir. Why choose Merhoyed?
It's somewhat at the centre of events, isn't it? And what's more, there's another stud farm there.
Sir, do you think they're going to try the same thing again?
I shouldn't think so. Everyone will be on the alert now, but the secluded dwellings are more vulnerable. There are few people in them. They're scattered everywhere and we can't guard them all.
But the bandits won't find much silver in places like that.
There's always a groschen or two, some food and so on. Anyway, how much silver did they get from slaughtering those horses?
True. If they'd stolen them, they could have sold them. Those were fine animals.
Exactly. It's not about the silver. It's about something else.
But what?
Creating fear. Such great terror that you won't even squeak when they come to cut your throat. Never mind raise your hand against them. Fear that will root you to the spot, staring like a rabbit entranced by a stoat, waiting for the death blow to fall. Helpless to do anything about it.
I have some news about the investigation.
Good.
The trail leads to Ujits. I found out one of the bandits is from there, a fellow they call Limpy Lubos.
I see. What else?
That's all I found out so far, sir.
All right. Come back and report to me as soon as you learn anything new. Good luck to you.
Yeah! Yeah! Yeah!
Oh, listen.
Yeah! Yeah!
Crossroad.
Yeah!
I want to take.
Yeah! 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 Yeah!
So
Yeah!
can get a lot done, I guess.
Yeah! 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 Yeah!
This way.
Yeah! 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 Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Move along, citizens. Move along. There's nothing to see here. that's what you call nothing to see, I'd like to know what something to see looks like.
By the keys of St. Peter, this is all I need. We'll have to send word to Sir Hanush.
That might not be necessary.
Who are you?
I'm Henry of Skalitz, in the service of Hanush's Captain Bernard. I'm investigating the attack at Neuhof, and I think this could be related.
Well, I'm the bailiff of Auschwitz. And I say we don't want any of that kind of trouble around here. What makes you think this has anything to do with Neuhof?
One of the folk at the stud farm recognized someone from Auschwitz among the bandits.
We have no bandits or murderers around here.
Really? They say he had a limp?
Shit. Well, allow me to introduce you to Limpy Lubosh. Or all that's left of him.
Yeah.
Sakra. Nothing's ever easy. I'll have to take a look around and ask a few more questions, if that's all right with you.
You can take this mess off my hands and welcome to it. As for what else there is to find out, I don't know. But look and ask all you like.
Dun dun dun.
Who was Limpy Lubosh?
A poor crofter and a scoundrel. Can't say I'm too surprised what happened to him. He kept company with all sorts of vermin. He was always getting into some kind of trouble. Punch-ups in the tavern and what have you.
How come he limped?
He got that from some villainy or brawl a long time ago.
Has he been up to anything suspicious lately?
I don't know. The last few days he didn't go anywhere. He was home the whole time. But he always kept everyone in the village at arm's length.
Did he have any kith or kin in the village?
None. A loner he was. I don't know the last time I saw him with anyone.
Do you happen to know where he was on the night of the Neuhof raid?
I've no idea. He kept his distance from other folk, so you never knew if he was away or holed up at home.
When did you find the body? And did anyone see anything?
Just now. And nobody saw or heard anything. I don't know how they could gut him like that without someone hearing him scream.
Another thing about Lubosh.
Good God! What happened to your clothes? If you were robbed, you should report it.
I've come in the name of Sir Hanush of Lipa. I'm investigating the massacre in Neuhof, and now a murder here as well. Can I ask you a few questions?
I don't know how I can help you, but ask if you must.
Who was this Lubosh who was murdered?
You could see at first glance he was no good. I kept well out of his way.
Have you noticed anything suspicious recently?
There wasn't sight or sound of him for a long time. And then yesterday, he turned up at the church and even talked to the parish priest. I never saw him do that before. Probably had a bad conscience.
Do you know what Lubosh was doing the day Neuhof was raided?
I don't think he was home. I didn't see him all day.
Do you know who Lubosh used to spend time with? Kin or friends?
As far as I know, he had nobody at all in this world.
That's all. Thank you.
Good luck then.
Mother of God, you look like you've been assaulted.
I've come in the name of Sir Hanush of Lipa. I'm investigating the massacre in Neuhof, and now a murder here as well. Can I ask you a few questions?
Ask away.
Who was this Lubosh who was murdered?
He was a drunkard and a beast. And lazy, too. Idle hands are the devil's tools.
Have you noticed anything suspicious recently?
The only thing seemed suspicious was how a rogue like him suddenly started going to church. Now I see why, of course.
Do you know what Lubosh was doing the day Neuhof was raided?
What do I care about that scoundrel? I was glad he stayed out of my way.
Do you know who Lubosh used to spend time with? Kin or friends?
He was always a loner. Except lately he started talking to the parish priest of all people.
That's all.
Right, we've got the priest.
God bless.
Let's go ask a few other people. Talk to you.
Good day to
When I
you.
ask you all,
What do you need?
maybe somebody will tell me.
I've come in the name of Sir Hanush of Lipa. I'm investigating the massacre in Neuhof, and now a murder here as well. Can I ask you a few questions?
I don't know anything about it, but ask all you want.
That man Lubosh who was murdered, what was he like?
I didn't really know him. He kept to himself, even in the tavern.
Have you noticed
You
anything
noticed
suspicious
anything
recently?
Come to think of it, he was in church yesterday. He was even talking to the priest and went to confession. I was wondering what he was up to take to the faith all of a sudden. But I suppose no sin's too dark for God's mercy.
Do you know what Lubosh was doing the day Neuhof was raided?
I was coming from the tavern very late that night, and I caught a glimpse of someone entering the village. He looked like he was in a hurry. It was only a shadow against the sky, but after what happened, I wouldn't wonder.
Do you know anyone Lubosh used to spend time with? Relatives or friends?
Not with anyone from the village. He used to sit in the tavern next to us sometimes, but he never said much.
That's all. Thank you.
May the Lord watch over you.
Next one.
Good day to you. What do you need?
I've come in the name of Sir Hanush of Lipa. I'm investigating the massacre in Neuhof, and now a murder here as well. Can I ask you a few questions?
Sir Hanush gives a job like that to a young fellow like you? Well, what do I care? Ask.
That man Lubosh who was murdered, what was he like?
He was a strange one. Always drinking, bad-tempered.
Oh,
Lord knows how he made a
jeez,
living.
oh.
Well, maybe now I've got an idea or two.
Have you noticed anything suspicious recently?
I didn't see much of him lately, not even in the tavern. Not till yesterday in church, as it happens.
Do you know what Lubosh was doing the day Neuhof was raided?
I don't think he was home at all. Wait. Are you saying he... Jesus.
Do you know anyone Lubosh used to spend time with? Relatives or friends?
I really don't
Right,
know.
find this one.
As far as I know, he had no kin. I never saw him with anyone.
That's all. Thank you.
Right, we'll go to the
May the
back.
Lord watch over you.
Right, you. Do you know
God
anything?
be with you.
I've come in the name of Sir Hanush of Lipa.
I don't know nothing.
That's all. Thank you.
Does anybody have anything new?
Good.
New?
What happened to your... God bless.
Alright, nothing. I think we've got everything.
God be with you. Take care now.
God
We've got
be with you.
everything.
God bless.
Dialogue. Let's talk to the guy behind us.
Good day to you.
I've come in the name of Sir Hanush of Lipa.
He
I'm
had something.
investigating the massacre in Neuhof, and now a murder here as well. Can I ask you a few questions?
Of course. Ask away.
That man Lubosh who was murdered, what was he like?
Maybe he's
He
got
was a drunk
something
who
for
was
me.
always looking for a fight. Nobody liked him much, but I wouldn't wish an end like that on any man.
Have you noticed anything suspicious recently?
Well, now I think of it, I hadn't seen him around for a while. No idea where he was skulking.
Do you know what Lubosch was doing the day Neuhoff was raided?
Not a clue.
Do you know anyone Lubosch used to spend time with? Relatives or friends?
He was a loner. He didn't even have any mates in the tavern.
Yeah, that's
all.
us.
Thank you.
Time to go find. Anybody else?
Good day to you. What do you need? Take care now.
Jesus Christ be praised. May the Lord watch over you.
To you. Where? I can't go around the whole country asking, can I? Another thing about Lubosh.
God be with you.
Right, I don't know. I'm gonna go see the priest, I guess. Only thing I can do. Oh, jeez. Oh, he's ready to speak now. Good sir. Oh, the bugger. He's gone. Isn't he? We go. Here. Aha!
The blessings of our good Lord be with you, Father. I'm here in the name of Sir Hanush of Leipa, investigating the massacre at Neuhoff, which seems to be connected to a murder here. Can I ask you a few questions?
It seems Sir Hanush is employing children as investigators. But ask as you wish, boy. I hope this nasty business will be cleared up quickly.
Did you know Lubosh? What was he like?
A bit of a lost soul. Simple, rough fellow, but at heart I don't think he was such a bad person.
Did you notice anything suspicious recently?
My child, all sorts of suspicious things have been going on recently. People like Lubosh don't know what to do about it, and sometimes they do stupid things.
That's really not a lot of help to me, Father.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Do you know what Lubosh was doing on the day Neuhoff was raided?
Unfortunately, I do know. And I'd like to help you with your investigation, but I can't.
What?
I'm bound by certain vows that forbid me to tell you.
Vows more important than catching dangerous murderers?
There are laws of God above the laws of man, son, and one of those is the sanctity of the confessional.
Father, surely you can't be serious. There must be situations in which you can make an exception.
There are things that apply always, no matter what the circumstances, and this is one of them.
But Lubosh is dead. You can't hurt him, but if you don't tell me, more innocent people may die.
If I told you, I would be betraying a vow that's a cornerstone of the Holy Church. If people believed the sanctity of the confessional couldn't be trusted, the consequences would be even worse than that.
Worse than the death of innocent Christians? Worse than the murderer escaping punishment?
No one escapes punishment.
Father, Lubosh was my only lead to the Neuhof raiders. Only he could tell me who was responsible for that massacre. If I don't find out who it was, it will probably happen again. Surely you wouldn't want that.
I wouldn't. But I can't betray the sanctity of the confessional. I'll tell you what. Give me some time and I'll try to think up some way of helping you. Suppose we talk it over in the evening, in the tavern, over a cup of good wine. Maybe we'll come up with something.
All right. Thank you, Father.
Farewell.
I feel quite hungry. Eat something. My insides are shriveled up with the hunger.
Jesus Christ. Your clothes. Were you assaulted? Damn bandits, may they burn in hell.
Have you got a bed for the night?
All right. For how long?
How about if I pay you for several nights?
Sure, but groschen first. These are harsh times.
It's quite a lot. Can we discuss the price? What do you say to this?
I'd almost shake on that. Almost. You've got it
We'll
all
go
to
for it.
yourself. No one will disturb you. Goodbye.
I'll have to get something to eat. I'm starting to get hungry.
My pleasure.
Have you thought of a way to help me solve that murder?
Let's leave it for the evening. Come to the tavern after sunset and we'll talk it over. God be with you.
Good afternoon.
Where do I go to sleep?
You'll have no trouble finding it. Right inside the door to the building, there's a ladder up to the loft. Your bed's ready there, and a trunk for your belongings.
Where do I go?
Oh, jeez, oh.
The blessings of our Lord be...
And with you, lad. Take a seat.
I could do with a bite.
I'm sorry I can't tell you everything.
Pull me in there.
Maybe we can work something out. But first I'd like to hear something about you, my son. With whom do I have the honor? Where are you from?
I'm from Skalitz.
Oh, I'm sorry. What about your kin?
They're dead.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Here, we'll drink to them. It must have been terrible.
It was terrible. It seemed so pointless. We had no warning. They just appeared and began the slaughter. God knows why. They killed anyone who didn't make it to the shelter of the castle. My parents, my girl, even the Deutsch who was on Sigismund's side. I didn't make it to the castle. I wanted to try and help my parents, but there was nothing I could do. Then I fled to Talmberg with the Cumans on my heels. They almost killed me. They slaughtered people in the surrounding villages. There was a pile of bodies in front of the church in Rovna. Folk who tried to take refuge there, but they...
My poor child. May God grant them eternal rest. And how did you come to get this assignment? I'd have expected Sir Hanish to send that old grouch, Bernard.
He did, but I found a witness and the trail led here to Ujitz, so he sent me here to follow it up.
Ah, well, congratulations. It's nice to see someone using their head to find things out instead of torture. We'll have to drink to that. Now the most important thing. What actually happened in Noyle? The good folks hereabout are saying all kinds of terrible things, but I take most of it with a pinch of salt.
The rumors aren't exaggerated this time, unfortunately. The Neuhof stud farm was raided by bandits, but they didn't come to pillage or even take the horses. They only wanted to kill. They maimed the horses and slaughtered some people. I'm sure they would have killed more, but the bandits quarreled among themselves and broke off the attack. And judging by what's left of our Lubosh, they're still settling accounts.
I see it's every bit as bad as people claimed. Dreadful. Well then, here's to those poor souls who had to die so pointlessly and so terribly.
I've told you all about me. Now it's your turn, Father. You don't look much like our parish priest at home. Well, we've had an agreeable chat, but now let's get down to business. So, about this confessional seal. Do you really want more innocent people to die?
Henry, that's not how it works. There are matters in which you can't make exceptions because if you do it once, you'll forever be tempted to do it again. If people stop believing in the church because their confessional secrets are betrayed, they won't trust anyone, And that's worse than even the most hideous crime.
I understand, but that means I've reached a dead end. Those cutthroats will strike again, and I can't stop them.
Chin up, lad. I might have a solution.
What?
If I tell you what Lubosh told me, I'd be betraying the confessional secret. But first thing tomorrow, I'll try something I think might help you.
Word of honor?
On my soul.
I always wondered about the things a priest tells his congregation. Where on earth do you get the ideas for your sermons?
Well, Uzhitz isn't Prague. It's not enough to instruct people. They have to be entertained, too. If I only read from the Bible, I'd soon be preaching to an empty church.
Our priest wasn't exactly a bard. So what do you preach to your flock about?
It has to be something topical. Condemning vices. And, of course, describing them in detail. The tongue-lashing about the two popes goes down well these days. And stories from real life, with a nice moral to them, are popular as well. Especially if they're about fornication and similar scandalous vices.
Can you give me an example?
Well, recently a priest by the name of Jan Hus started preaching in Prague, in the Czech language, and the people liked it. I hear he always has a full house. A journeyman who heard him told me what Hus is preaching, and I like the sound of it. I'm thinking about putting it in my own repertoire.
What's so amazing about it?
The preaching of Master Jan Hus about Mother Church, the lamentable wealth in which the church is drowning has turned to poison, and nearly the whole of Christendom is contaminated. Just like a flock of hungry ravens, they settled on this land to devour every grain of gold and silver. They know no mercy. Their hearts are corrupted by longing for wealth, and they shamelessly profit from everything. You want to baptize a child? Pay. You want to steal and murder? Pay and you will have absolution. What if the devil himself were to pay? Would he ascend to heaven too? With such money gained from the poor, they buy beautiful horses to ride and needless servants to pamper them. They gamble at dice and dress their whores in expensive furs, while Jesus Christ walked barefoot and had no place to lay his head. Look to your consciences, you robbers of the poor, for you are seen by God and his people too. Amen.
Well, this Jan Hus character is quite a rebel.
Oh, the congregation will love it.
I don't doubt it.
Let's drink to that.
Funny. That last bit reminds me of someone.
What do you mean? My situation is completely different. Who preaches against the prelates and the clerics who are robbing the poor? Look at me. I don't have a pot to piss in. I know better off than the folk I preach to. I'm one with them in poverty and suffering and everything that troubles them. I drink with them and curse those stuffed habits in Sasau Monastery.
Don't you think it's a bit odd when someone boozes and lives in sin with a woman and then criticises the Pope for debauchery?
No, I don't.
What do you think of this Jan Hus?
He's certainly a wise man. A little overzealous for my taste. If he got out of Prague and came here for a look, I'm sure he'd stop condemning drinking and lying with women.
Here.
Where can I find out more about his teachings?
You like it? I copied down some of his sermons. If you're interested, you can read them at my presbytery.
What do the common folk think of it?
They like it. They're happy to hear someone say what they think themselves, but are afraid to say aloud. Things that make them angry. And they're calling for change. In a few years, it'll have grown beyond control. You mark my words, the people will rise up and the church will be shaken to its very foundations.
Yeah, unless they burn him at the stake first.
Nonsense. They can't burn a master of the most respected university in Europe.
Thanks for the sermon, but I think I've been morally uplifted enough. Oh, it's getting quite late. What are your plans, Father?
What do you suppose? We have a drink, of course.
Ah, that sounds like a good plan.
I knew you wouldn't let me down.
przyszła mi do mora lat. To nie ustoi żadnej chlap. Na kraj panu dziesnej smutek, dnia i rano utek, niech ich małżeński majstrat, do wczera żylne staje brak. Už sejmoj svatý muži, nechtěl bych bejbě i kůži. Nám je to jedno a tak si dáme jedno a požadem si huby jako poslední jen. Půjďme se vámi, panorama slávy a tak vypal sudy a posaď se mi sem. Tak posaď se sem a vypal je ven. Ukaž kozy jako vozy, zítra jen tu soudnej den. Tak nalej mi hned a točí se svět.
Enough of this! Bailiff! Come over here, sit down and have a drink with us.
Don't vex me again, Father. It's 3 hours past dusk, and curfew is long gone.
So what?
So, are you all whipped and put in the stocks? And I'll write a letter to the bishop about you, priest.
Well, nothing to worry about then. Everyone knows the only one around here who can ride is me.
Enough! Men, throw them out.
You looking for a fight? Henry, back me up.
Fuck's sake. Why am I fighting people? We're going to end up getting our ass.
Gunda! I'm going to enjoy this. Boga!
Fuck. I can't see.
I'd love to. And Henry too, I'm sure. Right, Henry. Stop that nonsense, Godwin. Are you out of your mind? What will people say?
They can say what they like. What do I care? What did they do to me? Watch the step, my dears. Careful, you don't hurt yourself.
Oops.
This is wonderful.
Hopefully there's no funny business. Because I'll need to pause the stream. He's been sick out the window.
And now, my dears, comes the climax of the evening. Come here.
Oh, hopefully there's nothing bad.
Oh.
Nope, turn off, turn off, turn off. Where's the... Where's the turn? There we go. We're back. We're back and running. Oh, jeez.
Well, I have to say that was a fine evening.
Godwin, you beast! Get up! Do you hear me? Wake up, you drunkards!
Oh, fucking hell. Where the... Oh, what the... Oh, who the hell are you? Oh, Henry. My great friend, Henry. Didn't we have a wonderful time?
Well, you certainly did, you old lecher. Now you better pull yourself together quick. You haven't much time. There's some water and something to eat on the table there, but if I were you, I would move my hairy arse before my flock eats me alive.
Oh, step on in my head. My guts. Oh, my poor suffering stomach. Oh, what was that woman on about? Before my flock eats me alive. I've forgotten something. What have I forgotten? Where the fuck am I? What the fuck was it? Oh. Mass! Oh shit, I have to say mass. I gotta say mass. You have to help me.
How? You're the priest.
I can't do it in this state. Maybe the liturgy. But I have to give a sermon as well. Oh, this is a disaster. They're gonna excommunicate me. I'd like to help you. You can. You can do the sermon for me.
What? So, first I investigate a murder no one wants investigated. Then I drunkenly keep the whole town up all night. And now you want me to preach at them from the pulpit? Do you want them to burn us at the stake?
No. No, I've got it. Suppose that Sir Ratzig's protege. You just came from studying in Prague. And you want to share the words of Master Jan Hus, who you recently heard preaching there. Henry, look, from what I remember, we might have overdone it a bit last night. And if the bailiff or someone else complains about me, the bishop's gonna have my guts for garters. So I'd appreciate it. Stop gaping at me like a stuffed squirrel and start helping.
You're mad. You're stark raving mad.
I'm not. It's a perfect plan. It's flawless. Oh. How about this? If you help me with this, I'll tell you who Lubosh's cronies are.
Okay, I guess where I
Still
come
quite
from.
hungry.
Henry's always quite hungry.
So all at once the confessional seal isn't so sacred?
Don't mock me. I won't give you a second chance.
We'll never get away with it.
Not if you make a hash of it.
Well, all right. But I can't make any promises about what'll happen.
No, neither can I.
What do you want me to do exactly?
I'll go and start the liturgy. Then I'll introduce you. You give the sermon I told you yesterday in the tavern, and that's that. No need to drag it out. If it turns out well, I'll tell you what I know about Lubosh.
Christ almighty. Fine then. We have a deal.
Wonderful. Let's get to it then.
never show up. The swill top.
Look at him. He can hardly walk after his capers last night.
You were with them, you beast. Just you wait. Look at him. Mother of God, any minute now he'll throw up.
So I couldn't sleep a wink last night with all that clamor.
In nomine Patris, et Filii, et Spiritus Sancti. Amen. Accepit panem in sanctas at venerabiles a manus suas. Hoc facite in meam commemorationem. Brothers and sisters, you may have had the honor of meeting Henry from Skalitz, who is here at the behest of Sir Hanush to investigate that heinous crime at Neuhof. You might not know that Henry recently visited Prague, where, by the grace of God, was able to hear Master Jan Hus from the esteemed Charles University preaching. I've managed to persuade Henry to stand here today in my stead and tell us what he heard. Because, as you all probably know, Jan Hus is a very popular preacher in Prague. So, Henry, you may begin.
Now I'm curious which one of them will puke first.
Brothers and sisters, let me get straight to the point. I'd like to talk about the church and how corrupt it is.
That boy has a cheek.
One should not believe in the church, because the church is not God. God is above all things, and the church is but a means to salvation, which the prelates do not care to hear.
He's right.
It is the corruption of God's pastors here on earth that has brought misfortune on our heads. Plague, humans, hunger, and chaos. And it is all due to
shit. Fucked it.
corrupt servants of God who do not practice what they preach. They think sins can be washed away by money, and they sell indulgences, and that's bad. Because sins cannot be redeemed with silver.
Prague didn't do much for his confidence.
And what sins? They live with harlots and keep concubines, even though only marital intercourse for the purpose of procreation is pure. If someone takes a woman or man only to satisfy their own lust, who seduces them to do so but Satan? And how much darker the sin if that man is a servant of the church? Who can turn his face to God, who fornicates and then puts on priestly robes?
Nothing we don't know about already.
Enough about sin, which the prelates are so fond of preaching about, and whose absolution they promise if you pay enough coin to Mother Church. Look at them. They booze like hippies and buy expensive jewels. They servants of God, and that is not right.
And it was almost getting interesting.
I say to you, in the words of Jan Hus, he who knows much, let him speak much. He who knows little, let him speak little. Let each speak as much as he knows, and he who knows nothing, let him at least teach his neighbour one virtuous deed by setting him good example and refraining from playing dice and from fornication. And that applies both to priests and to you, brothers and sisters.
That's his conclusion.
That is all I heard in Prague. Amen.
Fuck that.
Have you no shame, you pair of buffoons? I'll be writing to the bishop of this. For shame.
Utterly blasphemous.
Can you believe such behaviour? For men of the cloth to get drunk.
I can try again, I guess.
So, is our...
I didn't do very well. Let's see. Just gonna save. Fuck. Right, come on. Talk to him.
I'll bring it right away. Here you are, and good health.
I'm sorry, I can't tell you everything.
They're dead. It was terrible. God... He did? The North... Sure. Well... I understand.
On. It happened. Well, I hear on the what? What?
Well, I...
Let. I'm.
Thanks for the... Yeah.
What? I.
Enough!
Shit. I'll help you. I'll help you.
As you like, ruffian. Herrgott.
Spar him.
What's the matter?
God!
Fuck. Fuck off. You got in my road. Right, I'm turning this off till I sort this. Because clearly... Actually, you know what? We'll just skip it again. Because every fucking time, it's the same shit. Needs to... Come on, talk.
The best of pleasure. I'm sorry, I can't. But
Dead.
It must.
I'll be right back with that.
It was... God...
I'll bring it right away.
The North... Sure. Well...
And if I can't, what if I work on, I what it happened. Well, I hear on the jet thing. What?
I...
Let
Funny.
what do you?
Don't you think it's...
What do you?
I...
Come on, then, bailiff.
Yo.
You want to fight? Then come and get it. Don't worry. Don't get any trouble. Give us a bit of a punch up.
Ouch. Piss off.
Bring it on. You're gonna cry now. Is that all you've got?
Fuck's sake. I need serious help.
Come on. Gotcha.
I need serious help here. Can't see shit. Starting to piss me off.
Well, alright. But I can't make any promises about what will happen.
No, neither can I. No need. What?
Brothers and sisters, let me get straight to the point. Boy is a One should not believe in the church, because the church is not God. God is above all things, and the church is but a means to salvation, which the prelates do not care to hear.
He's right.
It is the corruption of God's pastors here on earth that has brought misfortune on our heads. Plague, cumens, hunger, and chaos. The accursed wealth that the church is drowning in is poisoning almost the whole of Christendom. When dogs are fighting over a bone, take the bone, and they will stop. Just like the flock of ravens that has descended on this land to peck up every speck of gold and silver. They show no mercy. Their hearts are poisoned by covetousness. They trade everything. Everything is for sale. You want to baptize a child? Pay. You want to steal and murder? Pay, and you will have absolution. And the prelates sin and give themselves absolution.
For shame. Shame upon them.
And what sins? They live with harlots and keep concubines? Even though only marital intercourse for the purpose of procreation is pure. If someone takes a woman or man only to satisfy their own lust, who seduces them to do so but Satan? And how much darker the sin if that man is a servant of the church? Who can turn his face to God, who fornicates and then puts on priestly robes?
Nothing we don't know about already.
Enough about sin, which the prelates are so fond of preaching about, and whose absolution they promise if you only pay enough coin to Mother Church. What if the devil himself were to pay? Will the bishops tell us he too will ascend to heaven? And what about those bishops? They sin without remorse, and with the money grasped from the poor for indulgences, they keep fine horses and hordes of servants to pamper them. They play dice and guard their mistresses in expensive furs, while Christ, the Lamb of God, walked barefoot and had nowhere to lay his head. Look to your consciences, you robbers of the poor, for you are seen by God and his people too.
Down with the prelates! Away with them!
We're fortunate to have our good Father Godwin. At least he's a fair and simple man.
I say to you, in the words of Jan Hus, he who knows much, let him speak much. He who knows little, let him speak little. Let each speak as much as he knows, and he who knows nothing, let him at least teach his neighbour one virtuous deed by setting him good example and refraining from playing dice and from fornication. And that applies both to priests and to you, brothers and sisters.
That's his conclusion?
That is all I heard in Prague. Amen.
Listen. And it's good.
The lad spoke well, considering what a soak he is.
He's right, that was.
A young man should drink so much, but the Lord's given him a
Glad
silver
he
tongue.
came here. Don't suppose I'll ever get to Prague. We told him nicely.
Well, well, my boy, you have talent, and I can't deny it. You pulled a thorn from my side. I almost didn't make it.
Yeah, I noticed. I wasn't the only one.
Oh, what's to be done? I'll make it up somehow.
So, about our bargain.
Although it's a sin.
So gluttony and fornication.
God does forgive a penitent.
So, what did Limpy Lubosh tell you? Was he at Neuhof that day? Who was with him? And where are they now?
Now, slow down. I'm sorry, but he didn't tell me that much.
Don't let me down after all I've been through. For you...
Well, now Lubosh came to me shortly after it happened. His conscience was gnawing at him. And I must say, in the end, he turned out to be a better man than he looked. He said they'd been hired through some crony of theirs. And at first they were just to steal some horses. But then it all turned sour and people started getting killed. And neither he nor his cronies wanted anything to do with that. So they fell out from the gang and fled.
Fell out?
Yeah, there was a body found in the woods by Neuhof.
That would explain something. Lubosh kept jabbering that he wasn't a murderer, that he didn't want to do it.
So I know that Lubosh killed the murderer and he's dead too. The trouble is, I need to find the ones who are still alive. I need names and places. Did he mention any of the others?
Only nicknames. Talked about some fella called Riki from Ledechko, Pius, Timmy.
Pius. That lot are about as pious as I am ordained.
Nonsense. You would make an excellent priest. And anyhow, with your skills, you ought to be able to sniff out this Riki from Ledechko, right?
Well, we'll have to now. There's not much else to go on. Let's hope he's not hanging from the wall too.
Indeed. And I'd hate to be excommunicated for nothing. Anyhow, good luck. You watch out for yourself. These people clearly mean business. And I'd like to raise a tankard with you again sometime.
Yeah, I'll try. Although I'm not sure I'd survive another night of your debauchery.
And if anyone should ask, you heard nothing from me. I'll deny everything.
I don't doubt it.
Oh, jeez, oh. I fucking ran like fucking the wind. I think I was waiting. Oh, another.
Come here, you fucker. I'll punch your gob for
Fuck
you.
you.
Come here,
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Oh, fuck
The
off.
answer to my prayer. Just when I wanted to vent my rage.
Fuck. Fucking mate, I ran.
Greetings, Henry.
What's that dog you have here? He looks familiar.
Don't you remember him? It's Mart, the butcher's dog from Skalitz.
Ah, of course. When I went back to bury my parents, he was guarding his master's dead body. A faithful dog. How come he's here?
When we carted you here, we took Mutt along too. He's been hanging around the mill ever since.
How's he doing?
A lot better now. I slipped him something good now and again when Uncle wasn't looking.
He won't starve to death then. What does the miller have to say about it?
He can't stand him.
How's that?
Every time he sees him, he starts shouting that he's a useless mouth to feed and that'll skin him.
Jesus.
And it didn't even soften his heart when Mutt brought a hare from the woods. He was happy to eat it, but it didn't change his mind.
I could have a word with him.
That would be a waste of time.
Does he obey you?
Me? Not much. He's got a mind of his own, and I'm just not strict enough.
Ah, spoilt then.
No, he just hasn't learned many commands. But he's well able to beg for a piece of meat.
How long has he been with you?
More or less since we came here. He runs off now and again, but he always comes back. Sometimes I don't see him all day. I think he likes to go wandering.
So he's doing quite well then?
Yeah. I'd keep him, but he reminds me too much of Tinker, you know? I don't want to think about Skalitz. So I thought maybe you might take him with you?
Me?
I'm sure the two of you would get on great. He's a handsome fella and lovable. I'd be very happy if you had him.
But we never had a dog at the smithy. We never needed one.
Come on. He's got no one.
All right. I'll take him. He can keep me company on my travels.
Thanks, Henry. Go and get him then. He's sniffing around somewhere here.
I have to eat something. My insides are shriveled up with the hunger. I've brought you something.
Oh, Hal. Is this for me? This must have cost you a fortune. But I like it very much, thank you. You really mustn't bring me any more gifts like that, or you'll spoil me.
I'd like to know... That's all.
What the?
I have to eat something. My insides are shriveled up with the hunger.
Henry, I'm so glad to see you.
So, how have you been?
I can't stop thinking about Skalitz.
I know. It was hell. But life has to go on. Why not clear your head and try to forget about it? At least for now.
What do you mean?
Do you feel like a walk?
That's not a bad idea. And where would you care to go?
What if we took a stroll along the river?
Why not? That sounds lovely. Shall we go?
Let's go.
God! That was a good idea to go for a walk. Not that I don't like the mill, but you get tired of it. So I'm glad you took me out. I'd love to see the markets in Prague one day. Have you ever been to Prague?
No, I haven't. I have been in Kuttenberg, but Prague must be much bigger.
I've heard it's pretty smelly, though.
Yeah, so many people in one place. So many assholes.
That's disgusting. I'd love to listen to that young preacher, Jan Hus. They say he preaches in the common tongue. Everyone's talking about it.
I bet he's just handsome. That's why the women dote on him.
You're a right one. A preacher doesn't need good looks for people to listen to him.
And what about that fine fellow at St. James? I know full well why all the girls have started going to confession, and you have too, so don't give me any of that.
You scoundrel. Well, all right. I admit I find him handsome. But that doesn't make me a bad Christian.
I'd never dare to suggest such a thing.
Tell you what. Let's not dawdle. Last one is a slimy slug. That was fun. Sit down here next to me, Hal. And what about you? I heard you're helping Sir Radzig.
Sir Radzig has me running a few errands. I have to say, he always treats me well, and I make a wage.
So you've had your turn of luck. What's it like serving nobility?
Oh, it's endless luxury, money, banquets, games stuffed with other games.
A chicken stuffed with a frog?
Yeah, and that's nothing compared to a frog stuffed with a chicken.
A goat stuffed...
with a pig? Now then.
Oh, Henry, what am I going to do with you? Wandering the land, turning innocent girls' heads.
What do you think? Probably go for.
What? I hope your knees didn't buckle too.
Don't fool yourself, my lad. You're not that much of a catch. But now I have to go.
Can I go with you?
Just a little way. I don't want anyone to gossip. Thank you for coming with me. Please come and see me again.
Try and get some food here, if possible.
Hey, lad.
Hey, Mutt.
Don't you want a little wager on the Rattay tourney?
Remember me? From Skalitz, remember? You want to go with me? Come on then. We'll get on like a house on fire. Follow me.
Must eat.
Need food. Somebody making food at some point. Yeah. For God's sake. I'm gonna need to go see if there's food.
Hey, lad. Don't you want a little wager on the Rattay tourney?
I'm interested in betting on the tourney.
Of course you are.
What can I bet on?
Let's keep it simple. You can bet on yourself to win the whole tournament. If you reckon you're up to it. Not everyone's got what it takes. If you lose, you forfeit your wager. But if you win, you'll get double back from me, on top of the prize money from Sir Hanush. That's a fair wager, ain't it? What do you say?
Nah, I don't fancy it.
May the Lord watch over you.
Everything.
Good day to you. May the Lord watch over you. Good luck to you. Farewell. Kettles for water. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
That's us out.
Yeah.
What we'll do is we'll stop outside this next part.
Yeah. 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 I can't go any further. The current could sweep me to my death.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
We'll go
Yeah.
this way.
Yeah.
Go on the bridge, I guess.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Try get some stuff
Yeah.
done. I mean, this is the last thing
Yeah.
that I'm probably going to stop and do.
Yeah.
Probably, most likely.
Yeah.
Then we'll pick it up tomorrow again.
Yeah.
See what's going on.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Good evening.
I'm looking for someone they call Riki.
Jesus. Who wouldn't know Hinek?
Hinek?
That's his real name. I doubt he likes his nickname much.
No, I don't suppose he would. Where would I find him?
Try his folks' house, if you have the nerves for it. The old tanner's a grouchy sod.
What can you tell me about this Hinek?
What can I tell you? No, he's none too popular. No one cares to talk to him.
Why not?
Well, I'm not one to gossip, but I heard he keeps bad company.
What's the tanner like? Hinek's father.
The less I see of him, the better. He's not exactly sparkling company.
Why do they call him Riki anyway?
Why do you think? Because he's a tanner, of course.
So why don't people like him?
The old tanner's not an easy man, but a son should never let his father down. Hinek does nothing to help. Is always far too busy with his own affairs, though I wouldn't like to say what those are.
And does no one at all talk to him?
That harlot Adela hangs around with him, of course.
Harlot?
She works as a bathhouse wench. Same thing. God bless.
Hej, muzyko, wesele!
Hey! Good evening.
I heard you've been seeing Hinek, the tanner's son.
So what? Come to preach at me, have you? That I'm a loose woman, a sinner, that I seduce decent men?
I just wanted to ask you a few questions. It's not my business how you live your life.
I'm glad to hear it. Some folk don't care for the way I make a living.
I can imagine.
So, what about you then? You look a bit careworn. A bath with a bit of company might do you good.
Maybe later, sweetheart. Right now, I have some questions to ask.
Ask away then.
Where can I find Hinek?
I haven't seen him in the village for a few days. He must have run off to the woods again.
Does he do that often?
From time to time.
What the hell does he get up to there?
I don't know.
He goes to the woods from time to time. That smells fishy to me.
What do you mean? There's no law against it, is there?
With all the footpads, looters, cumans, and God knows what other vermin around, it's not the sort of thing an honest man would do.
But Hinek doesn't have anything to do with those people.
Oh, really? Then what does he do there? I don't imagine he's gathering mushrooms.
I really don't know what you want from me. So Hinek is a bit odd and sometimes he goes off into the woods. So what?
When did you last see him?
A few days ago. He came to me late in the evening, drunk.
And that was unusual?
I never saw him drink much. He always came to me sober.
So he was acting strangely that evening?
He was strange. I had the feeling he was afraid of something. He kept prattling on and didn't seem to care about you know what. So I threw him out and I haven't seen him since.
Can you remember anything he said that evening?
Oh, I'm not sure. He went on about some fellow called Lubosh who died. That he was regretting he ever got into it, but he never said what it was. And that it wasn't worth it for the money. Aye, and then he was talking about the money. That was very odd.
What did he say about the money?
Just that he had a pile of it hidden behind his house.
I see. What did you say to that?
What could I say? He was drunk. He kept saying I was a fine girl and other harlots wouldn't go with him even for money. And if I wanted, I could even take half the money and leave. Or he'd go with me and we could get married and such. Oh, just poppycock.
Did you go there for a look?
No, I've got better things to do. Obviously he made it up. Where would a layabout like him get so much coin?
Yes, I understand. Did he tell you exactly where he hid it?
He said he buried it at his father's small holding, in the western corner.
All right, thank you.
May the Lord watch over you.
Go to C. Oh. That down. E, then we'll go to C. C. Want to go to C and talk to it's probably this over here, ain't it? I need a shovel. Shovel.
That sounded like... Good evening. Good luck then. That sounded like... Do you want...
A lot of waiting around, to be fair. There it is. I need a shovel off you, bud.
Good day to you.
Hopefully need a shovel. I need a shovel. How much money do I have? Fuck's sake. I bought a shovel off this dude. Pretty sure I bought a shovel off this dickhead.
So you know this Hinnock? Can you tell me something about him?
Not much, I confess. Most of the village folk avoid him like the plague.
Why's that?
No one with a nose likes spending too much time around tanners. And that Riki keeps bad company. I've never heard a good word said about him. May the Lord watch over you.
Good health to you.
I'm looking for your son. Any idea where he might be?
I don't know nothing.
Don't you at least know where he usually goes? It's important.
Hinek shows up at home once in a blue moon, so I don't know nothing about where he gets to. Even if I did, why would I tell every Tom, Dick and Harry?
Your son is about to get into deep shit. I'm trying to find him so I can warn him.
That's nothing new. He's always up to his ears in it.
But this time his neck's on the block. He got mixed up with some very dangerous people. I have to find him.
All right. He was here a few days ago, but he left right away. He looked like he was in a hurry.
And you don't know where he went?
I've got an idea, but I don't know where it is exactly.
I don't follow.
Hinek makes some money on the side from poaching. He boasted to me a few times about what a great hideout he found in the woods, but he never told me where it is.
Well, it's not much to go on, but it's better than nothing. Thank you. Don't you have any clue at all where his hideout could be?
I really don't know nothing about that. I could tell when he'd come from there, is all.
How's that?
Because every time he brought some hides for tanning and money.
He had money because he sold the stuff right away?
I suppose. He never kept any of his loot here.
Do you know who he sold it to?
No. But the innkeeper came here now and again and gave him coin. Of course, it could have been for me.
All right. I'll ask at the inn then. What more do you know?
Nothing. I swear to God Almighty, I've said all I know. Hinek never told me nothing.
I know he didn't talk to you about it, but you must have noticed something, right? How much time did he spend away? What was he wearing? How did he look when he came back? Anything?
Well, he came and went at all sorts of hours. I really don't know. Except maybe one thing. He'd come home scratched with brambles and with leaves and muck on him.
So he probably went through thick woods to get to that place.
I reckon. What do I know? Go. And if he's really in as
God
much
damn it,
shape
my
as he
stomach
said,
hurts.
please, try and find him.
I will leave it there and we will continue.